Hey guys, hello and welcome to Analytics for the Internet of Things. This is a short introductory course for beginners to both Internet of Things as well as analytics. So, quick brief about myself. I received my PhD in Industrial Engineering from the University of South Florida. After that, I served as a assistant professor in the Department of Industrial Engineering with operations research focus for about 4 years. I've published several papers and given numerous talks around the world in predictive and prescriptive analytics. For the last few years, I've been with the big data analytics industry in some of the top companies in the world, leading large data science teams. So the opinions expressed in this course are entirely mine and are not those of my employer or Experfy.com. So let's quickly go through what Internet of Things is, and then we'll talk about what this course has and the kind of content I'm going to cover. So everybody has heard of Internet of Things, and according to the IoT Global Standards Initiative, it is defined as the network of physical objects or things embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity, which really enables these objects to collect and exchange data. So as all of you may have heard already, probably the reason you're taking this course is this has huge economic potential, and McKinsey report pegs this economic potential at about $11 trillion by 2025. So obviously the most important ingredient in this IoT boom is data, and the source for the economic boom will be how analytics can be used for driving better decision making and driving new business value. So the course objectives are quite straightforward. So I want to introduce students to the concept of IoT, and this really is intended to serve as a 101 course for analytics for IoT. So I'll be covering some of the most basic data analytics techniques and statistical methodologies. The much more complex concepts of deep learning, reinforcement learning, and neural networks are will be covered in different courses at a later stage perhaps. So this course does not cover how to handle the IoT data deluge. So it doesn't talk about Hadoop infrastructure and techniques like Spark to handle real-time analytics. But what we will really learn is the statistics and the mathematical models and machine learning techniques, or otherwise known as the analytics methodologies, that can be used to make better decisions using IoT data. So I'll be really focusing on teaching students the fundamentals behind the analytics and statistical techniques to understand how do you drive value from this data. So the broad topics covered, we'll talk about what IoT is and what it is not. We'll talk about some of the most common use cases in IoT. We'll definitely talk about some of the types of data encountered, and we'll then dive into predictive analytics in IoT. So some of the basics, we'll talk about time series models, which are very common in IoT data. We'll talk about dimensionality reduction. So IoT will involve dealing with a large amount of data. So we'll look at some examples from image compression. We'll talk about random forests and decision trees, which are typically used in predictive analytics. We'll talk about clustering, which is unsupervised machine learning technique. And what we'll do is every chapter or every module that we cover comes with some R codes in separate documents that you can copy paste onto your R windows or R Studio windows and execute them, and certain that you get the same results. That way you can learn alongside after we cover this each chapter. So some prerequisites and technologies. Really what we'll require is basic understanding of statistics, undergraduate statistics and undergraduate linear algebra. Obviously I'm expecting that whoever is taking this course will know some computer programming, and since we'll be using R in this course, it would be very useful if you guys know a lot of R, because I will not be spending time on teaching R. My focus is really on teaching the methodologies and statistical techniques, and we'll use those in R. So all the R codes will be simply provided as additional documents that you can copy and paste into your R Studio screens. So once again, some of the key books and references which are very, very powerful. Introduction to Statistical Learning with Applications in R is a free book available, written by Garrett James and one of the leaders in this field, Trevor Hasty and Tip Shirani. We have Designing the Internet of Things by A. McEwen and H. Casimali. We have Introductory Time Series Models and Text Mining as well, because sometimes even techniques used as text is streaming in, how do we handle that data as well. So this will be the course. So I hope you enjoy it. Have fun.